Okay, so with your presentation, a main component is thinking about what are you going to say. Today, we're going to share with you some ideas of how you can say it. Something that might not be part of your everyday practice in terms of preparing for a talk, a presentation, or a conference. And I'm going to share with you tips from head to feet. My son, 10 years old, he said, I have a joke for you. Imagine that a tiger is chasing you. What would you do? I said, I don't know, run, scream. What would you do? Right? Same thing?
Yeah, fight.
Yeah, fight, there you go, yeah, even better. And then he started laughing and said, no, stop imagining. The idea of the power of the imagination and the power of our mental focus. And that's where we start in terms of preparing for this. How do you talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself with, positive, move forward ideas? Or is your self-talk a barrier? I'm not good at presenting. Everyone's better than me. Those sorts of things are barriers. You wouldn't say those to your best friend, yet you might find yourself creeping into those sorts of ideas. So step one is ensure that your self-talk has a positive focus. So maybe I still have work to do on my presentation. So it might be you notice that in your presentation that you say a lot of ums and ahs. So that would be a goal, a move forward goal. So the positivity of our talk, and don't underestimate the power of your imagination and your image of yourself. And that aligns to what Andy said in terms of your confidence and your stance. What you think will come out in your body language. So moving from your head, we'll go to our eyes. And with your eyes, the idea is to make eye contact with people in the audience. They are the reason why you are here. It would be weird if you weren't here and I was standing here talking. Right? That's the same thing. You're preparing this talk for somebody else. You're not preparing this for you. You're preparing this for you in terms of a learning opportunity and an opportunity to showcase your research and to get some feedback on it. But really, you're preparing this. Who's in the room? What do they want to know? If you were in the room, what would you want to know? That's the relationship. It's also when you make eye contact with people in the front, and you can move to the back. You can ensure that you go to the other side too. You can make eye contact with the judges. And with eye contact, it's, I probably don't have to remind you that it's not like I'm going to stand here and stare at someone and make us feel uncomfortable. The idea is to have your eye contact around the room. With your eye contact, it reminds you, and your body language too, that this is a conversation. As Andy said, I'm connecting with the audience. I'm having a conversation. So the idea with the eye contact is when you're practicing this, and from this coaching session, practice this. Practice your 3-minute thesis several times out loud before the day of the presentation. Try not to just practice it in your head. So practice it with an audience. And again, as Linda alluded to, practice it with your hairdresser, with someone that will go, huh? What does that word mean? And so you can change and avoid the jargon that makes research kind of the exclusive club. We want to be inclusive in our language and invite people in to the ideas and the curiosities that we have. So eye contact is that form of having that conversation. From your eyes, we'll move to your ears. Get in the habit of listening to yourself. Listen to your tone. Listen to particularly words that I would call filler words. Like, you guys. What am I missing? Any other pet peeve words? Okay. So, okay, you know it, right? So now you're going to pay attention to all the idioms that I have. Listen to yourself. Listen to how you communicate. And have a trusted friend or colleague, when they're listening to your presentation, just count idioms so that you have that self-awareness with you. Strategies to avoid idioms, those filler words. Number one is to have silence instead of that word. Say, to deliberately have the habit or behavior change to say, I want to avoid those words. Writing down exactly what you want to say is a good strategy for that. Typically, we have filler words when we're thinking. So if you know exactly what you want to say, maybe not for the 3-minute thesis because you have one static slide, but particularly if you are in a conference when you're transitioning from one slide to another, that's when the audience will hear the ums and the ahs. So try to get those out of your presentation. That just lends itself to more professionalism and a better connection with the audience. From your ears, we'll move to your mouth. Had great warm-ups with your vocals. The idea with your mouth that I want to share with you is to express joy or express happiness in terms of that's how you're connecting to. It's not like you're going to stand there and smile kind of goofy, but show that this is serious, but it's also part of what I'm doing and part of actually what I'm really excited about. So using it to connect and show that with a smile. And that lends itself to the next, which is your heart. Show your emotion. Demonstrate emotion with silence, with intensity of your voice or softening of your voice. You can bring your audience through the emotional journey of this research. If this is exciting data, if I said this is exciting data, there's a disconnect. Is it really exciting? She doesn't sound that exciting. So use your voice to project that and to give the pace of your voice also in your emotion. Remember the passion of the research. Demonstrate it. You're excited about this. Get other people on board. Or bring people through the journey of maybe your research also has, you're struggling with it. You can bring that emotion out as well with your presentation. Moving from your heart to your arms and your hands. What do you do? What do you do with your arms and your hands? There's probably not a recipe in terms of what particularly to do. A lot of the common things that you already know. Try not to cross your arms. Even if you're cold, it doesn't look like I'm very warm and inviting. Or hands on your hips. I'm accusing you of something. So those are rattling change in your pocket. No. Try not, or even hands in your pocket. Try to avoid that. So with your hands, again, it's having a trusted colleague or friend watch your 3-minute thesis practice and tell them, I'd like you to watch my arm gestures. Is my body language in alignment with my emotion, with my words, with what I'm trying to express? And you're going to learn, maybe even videotape yourself, because you might even notice more overt things than your friends. I do that, when you look at yourself. If you are a very expressive person and you use your hands a lot, then obviously my advice would be to calm that down, and because that is distracting from the message. If you're standing like this the whole time, again, it's the awkward stage. So having a nice comfortable shoulders and using your gestures as appropriate. If I'd like you to look at the slide, then I can draw my hand to the slide. Connecting that with eye contact. When I draw the person to the slide, I intimately know my slide, so I can say the top right corner, I might glance there, but I'm still connecting with you. So keep your eye contact with your audience and avoid talking to your slide, because now I've disconnected from you. And they're here for that 3-minute thesis. So from your arms, we go to our feet. A nice, comfortable stance. Practice. Are you going to move in your presentation? Do you need to go to another location? How are you going to stand? Things that I would suggest that you avoid are, crossing your feet like this. It just doesn't have that same confidence presence to it. Or standing like this, to one side, hip out. It's a funny thing, but I'm hijacked because I'm so intensely thinking about what I'm going to say to you that I don't know that my body language is not conveying really what I want. So today we're saying, what do you want? And make that your practice of your presentation. The other thing is people that sway. If you're nervous, you might sway back and forth, and you're laughing because you don't know if you do that or not. So things to avoid. And sometimes you might not have the awareness without either videotaping yourself beforehand or having a trusted friend, colleague, your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, say to them, I want you to watch how comfortable my stance is for it. We've gone from our head to our feet, and that's the image of this is put your whole self into this. We talk about presenting, and this is an opportunity for you to present not only the work that you're contributing and contributing to society and contributing to your life, but also who you are. So be authentic in how you present and how you come across. That's why there's not a particular recipe in terms of what to do with your hands, what to do with your feet. It's saying that this is me and I'm presenting that.